Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. So my last video with the real estate thing, I mentioned I'm just heading to the shop. Takes about probably half hour, 35 minutes from where we live in Kenosha to Burlington. So I like to do videos while I'm driving to suck up the time. So when I was in real estate, we had a house, a duplex on 9th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And if you want to Google it, it's in the hood. Not a really good area, but we got the house for a steal. And so there was a couple things that happened while working on that house. So my cousin Rich Trudeau, my brother Mikey, my brother Bobby, and I were working on this house. Actually, no, I don't think Bobby was there. It was just Rich, Mikey, and I. And we had ordered a pizza, and we're waiting for the pizza guy. And in the meantime, we're working while we're waiting. And I was working on the subfloors in the living room / dining room, because what had happened, this house had a major water leak, like the main line burst because there was no heat in there and the pipes froze. So the floors were like all wavy, and would suck because it would have been beautiful hardwood floors. So anyways, I'm looking out the bay window because the house had two big front bay windows, one in the living room, one in the dining room. And during the day, it's cold, like wintertime. And I kept telling my brother and my cousin Rich, like, I got a bad feeling today, man. I mean, like, all day I've just had this bad feeling. And my cousin says, well, I wouldn't say that working with a circular saw, you might cut your finger off. So anyways, I'm working right there and cutting the floor and just placing everything down. I'm going to screw it down later. And I'm looking outside the bay window for the pizza guy. And my cousin had a Chevy cargo van, old school. Like, this is probably in the 90s, so they had a different style van then. And it was a longer version of the cargo van, and he had a cage to separate the back from the driver's side. And it's the old style van with the old wing windows. So I look outside and I'm like, something's odd. And I look, I'm like, oh, fuck, Rich, they're breaking in your van. And because I saw the passenger side wing window was busted. And so I go running out. He goes, let him take it, let him take it. He was kind of intimidated by the hood. I, on the other hand, was not. So I go running out, jump down the stairs, and I see a guy. So because I'm going to go around the driver's side, not the passenger side. And as I'm coming around the back of the van, this black dude is walking. He got a big jacket on, and he's got windshield wiper blades sticking out of his jacket, brand in the package. And I'm like, what the fuck you doing, man? And I told him, I said, you fuck with the wrong dudes, man. So he starts running. Now, back then, I was in way better shape. And I'm sorry. And on my last video, I kept saying mid-2000s. It was early 2000s, not mid-2000s. So this was probably late 90s. And this guy, I see the windshield wiper blade sticking out of his jacket. And I'm like, dude, you fuck with the wrong dudes, man. And he takes off running. But he's all bulky because it's cold out. Niggas got sickle cell. So... And I'm just in like my sweatshirt and work pants. So I easily run up to this dude, tackle him in the snow, and I lift him up, and I'm like, dude, you fucked with the wrong white boys. And as I got him by the back of his jacket, this old lady, Mary, next door to us, she was always watching. I was super nice black lady. And so I said, but Mary, can you call it? Because at this point, she hears all the yelling. She comes out on the porch. And she says, everything all right? I said, can you call the cops? She goes, I already did. So as I'm holding this guy by his jacket, my brother Mikey and my cousin Rich had this other black dude on the sidewalk. He's laying down And my brother's got his foot on one arm, and my cousin Rich got his foot on the other arm. So I'm looking at those guys, and they're like, this fucker came out of the truck with a chisel after us. I'm like, oh, wow. So anyways, as I'm concentrating on what they're saying, this motherfucker pulls a big-ass rusty butcher knife. And he goes to fucking cut me, and I fucking put my arm up like that. You know, it happened so fast. He actually did cut me on my forearm. I still got the scar. Anyways, he takes off running. I'm like, I ain't chasing a motherfucker with a big-ass rusty fucking butcher knife. So I automatically walk up to the dude on the ground, and I am pissed. I'm fuming. So I grabbed this motherfucker by his leg, and I'm like, you're going in the house. And then I saw his shoe print, and I knew I wanted to drag him in the house. Now, we'll rewind to a few weeks earlier. We put brand new, actually my brother Stevie K, what's up brother, love you. He's actually the one that put in the water heaters for us. And like I said, when you're working in the hood, man, you don't leave any of your tools on the job site, because you'll come back and they will have wiped you out. So, and I knew that from years of, you know, working in construction or whatever. And so we had these oh no, I gotta back up. I'm sorry, I'm so fucking hit or miss. My compass is all fucked up, man. I don't know which direction I'm going at times. So it's now probably about a month before catching the guys in the van. It was in the wintertime, like I said, but Milwaukee, Wisconsin had one of those odd winter days where it was like 60 degrees, sunny, beautiful out, the sun's out, the snow's melting. And so we were working on 9th and Burleigh in the house, and it's falling asleep. We got all the doors open, windows open to air out the house. It's beautiful. And this was it was me, my cousin Rich, my brother Bobby, my brother Mikey, and myself. Like I said, it's a duplex. So we were in the upper unit working, doing something, and then we just got to talking. You know, we stopped what we were doing, we started talking. And we had the music on the radio downstairs. So we're talking, not paying any mind to the music. And then all of a sudden I'm like, who turned the music off? They're like, oh. So I'm like, oh fuck. So I run down the stairs. Sure enough, these motherfuckers snuck in the house while we're upstairs. Ballsy motherfuckers. Sneak in the house, they steal, I think it was like a saw or something, and they literally stole the fucking radio while we're listening to it. Dude, I swear to God, you can't even make this up. That's why these are truths, and I tell story time. So I'm like, motherfucker. So anyways, we eat it. About maybe a week later, my brother Stevie K puts the water heaters in, and every day we're loading the tools back in the work trucks and heading out. So the next day we get there, the fuckers stole our brand new water heaters, 2 of them, and they took some like electrical stuff or whatever, and I'm like, these motherfuckers. I'm pissed now. So there was only one way that this fucking little skinny crackhead motherfucker could have came into the house. It was through, so the layout is, like I said, the front room, or the living room and the dining room in the front of the house had big bay windows. There was a big front porch on it. But in the back, there was, when you first enter the rear door, right when, if you were to open the door, there's a landing right there. And there's a flight of stairs that goes into the basement. And then there's a flight of stairs that go up to another landing, and that's where the first floor kitchen is. Then you go up another set of stairs, a landing, another set of stairs, and then you're to the landing for the second floor. And that door opens to the kitchen. So next to the rear door where you enter the house from the back, right on the landing, when you open the door, you step in, you're on the landing, there's a window right next to the door. And it's a small window, but it's not small enough where somebody can't crawl through it. But the window was all busted, and we had one on order because it was an odd size. But I mean, my fat ass could have squeezed through the window. It wasn't that small. But we had a big piece of plywood screwed to the frame, inside and outside, and there was only maybe 10 inches that wasn't boarded up. 10, maybe 12 inches. And I never thought somebody would fucking come through that area. But that's the only way that this person could get into the house, because everything else was secured. Basement had all glass block windows, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, that's got to be where they're coming through. So we set a booby trap. Swear to God. So what I did was, because I'm beyond pissed. I want revenge. So we take razor blades or utility blades, and we remove the molding on the baseboard, and we literally cut out the entire floor, but we leave the linoleum intact onto the flooring. And then we go ahead and we take out all the joists, the joists that are supporting the landing. So we cut those out, and then I just put a couple little screws into the 4 areas, and we laid the cutout linoleum and floor onto those, so there's nothing underneath it to support weight. So then we we go down to the basement. In the living room, there was a big open grate, probably like 2 feet by 1 foot or 3 feet by 1 foot. It was for the air return for the ductwork for the HVAC. But we had already tore out the ductwork because we were putting a new furnace in this thing and sheet metal. So all we had to do was open up the grate, slide a ladder down in it, and then you're in the basement. So we went down the ladder, and we start fucking making like punji sticks, fucking glass shards, anything. We were like sharpening fucking boards, all this stuff. Big, huge broken pieces of glass, boards with nails in it. I mean, just a lot of stuff. And we wall off, or we plywood up the only doors. So if when you would have hit the landing and you would have walked into the basement, there was a wood wall, and then there was a door opening that you could actually walk into the rest of the basement. And then to the right, there was another thick wood wall. And then you just had, because it was the outside of the house in the corner, you had the 2 walls that made a 90-degree angle. So you got a wall, and then a corner, and then another wall. That was all cinder block. And then the other 2 walls, which would make up the 4 walls, would be the 2 thick wooden walls that were original to the house. And then the doorway that you would walk from there into the main basement. So what we did is, after we built the fucking booby trap, we went ahead and we took plywood and we walled up the door entrance. So once the person came in through the back window, which I didn't know for a fact, but it was true. Right when that person comes, crawling through, they're going to jump down to the landing, and they're going right into the fucking basement. I swear to God. So we board everything up, and we're confident we're going to catch the fucking rat in this trap. This dude is a fucking caged animal if he gets in there. So, because it's too high for him to go up, and there's nothing on the walls where he can climb up. So, and this is all relevant. So we leave. The next morning we get there. and the front door is wide open. There's copper pipe that we had left over in the basement from the water heaters that Stevie put in. And we see a piece of copper pipe that was hanging in the window. So somebody had like shot it like a spear and they broke the window, but the copper water pipe was still hanging out of the window, half in the house, half outside the house. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so they've been coming in the front door the whole time? So we go, grab the ladder, crawl down into the basement from the air return, and the plywood, which was thick plywood, on both sides was tore down. Like, it was broken, but you could see where there was a bloody shoe print on the other side. So when they fell down, they obviously cut themselves and hurt themselves pretty bad. But they got to get out or they're going to fucking jail, right? So this person must have been kicking on the fucking, and probably using the boards with nails in, to make some sort of hole so he could actually crawl out of there. And maybe he didn't realize there's block windows down there, like glass block windows. I don't know what his mindset was, obviously. So, but when we get down there, you can see, man, the whole fucking, the linoleum floor is fucking through the booby trap, like through the shards, guys. You can see there was quite a bit of blood down there. Not homicide blood, like it didn't look like a murder scene, but a decent amount. So I'm feeling good at that. I'm pissed that they got out, but now this is the reason why when I saw his shoe, it was really, really bad for this guy. So I remember looking at the bloody shoe prints, and I remember it being a solid dot, a 360 dot, and then it had like spirals around, so that it was a solid dot, and then spiral like markings around the tread of the shoe. And I told my cousin and my brother, I said, when we find somebody or we catch these motherfuckers, I'm looking at the tread of their shoes. This is our rat. So now fast forward, they break into my cousin's van, and now my cousin and my brother got this dude fucking pinned on the sidewalk. I pick up his shoe and I'm looking, I'm like, you're the motherfucker that's been breaking in my house. I said, well, you're going in the house. So I start dragging his ass up the stairs, because there's probably about 4 or 5 concrete stairs, and then you hit a sidewalk that goes around to the back of the house, and then a set of wood stairs going up onto the front porch, and then the front door. So I dragged this motherfucker. As I'm dragging him, he's fighting, and my cousin and my brother are like, oh, fuck. They didn't even help me. I was so fucking enraged. And this black dude is fucking crackhead, skinny as fuck. So that explained how he was getting up through the top of the plywood. And he starts screaming, Marcus! Marcus! And I'm like, Marcus ain't gonna fucking come for you. And I don't even know. I think Marcus is the dude that fucking pulled out the butcher knife. And he screamed, Marcus! Marcus! And I drag his ass right into the fucking house. We close the door. Now, I know I got a small little window of opportunity here. Oh, excuse me. I get such a dry fucking mouth when I get excited. So, because I know the cops are on their way, because Mary called them. So, I right when we closed the front door, there's like a little foyer, and that was all painted. We did white woodwork, sprayed white woodwork with tan walls, or like off-white walls. And I took this motherfucker, he was sitting down on the ground, and I fucking slammed his fucking head up against the wall, and I started choking his ass out, like literally choking him the fuck out. And dude went limp. And my cousin was like, dude, you got, nah, he's fucking faking. So now he's all limp. And he's definitely playing possum, which I don't understand that saying, playing possum, because you would think, like, well, my my belief throughout my years was you play possum, they just pretend like they're dead. Well, I've fucking caught a couple possums in one of our properties, and that motherfucker didn't play dead. That motherfucker was vicious as fuck. I mean, I literally thought that fucker was going to attack me and bite the shit out of me, give me rabies or something. So I don't understand that saying playing possum. So, anyway, so then we drag them. Now they're helping me. We drag them into the living room, and we have buckets, 5-gallon buckets of paint. And we had some that were full, which a 5-gallon bucket of paint is pretty fucking heavy. And then we had some partial, like half full, 3/4 full. So we lay him on his back, and my brother's on one arm, my cousin Rich is on the other. So I grab probably half, maybe 3/4 full, but it wasn't a full one. I have mercy, I have grace, I have forgiveness. So I grab the partially used fiver, and I grab it by the handle, and I'm standing over this dude, and his face is right underneath the bucket, and I got the bucket raised about maybe 3 feet, and I'm swinging it on the handle, and I could see his ass ain't fucking knocked out. He's terrified. So unless he passed out from fucking fear, I don't know. Anyways, so then I'm like, you can pretend that you're fucking passed out all you want, you motherfucker. And I dropped it right on his face. Yes, I did. And that motherfucker let out a blood-curdling scream. So we started giving him the boots. Pretty decent. And so now we're just, we know the cops are coming soon. They ain't coming, lights and siren. So sure enough, we see a squad car pull up. And it was this white cop named Cecil. You could see this dude worked in the hood for a very, very, very long time. And as soon as, we just opened the door, he walks right in. And he sees the black dude laying on the floor. He was pretty beat up. And the black dude starts saying something to him. And he walks right up to this motherfucker and puts his boot right on the motherfucker's throat. He's like, shut the fuck up. And the dude and he looks at us, and he looks at the dude's face, the blood, all that shit. And not like, we didn't beat him to death or even close to death, but we were proving a point. And I'm at the shop right now. So, anyways, he looks at us, he goes, why ain't he beat up? So he cuffs him, puts his ass back in the squad car, and found out that Marcus was the dude that lived on the corner. So we could see his big ass duplex right on the corner, because we're only just a few houses off the corner. Marcus was buying the shit they were stealing from us for his properties, because he was a rehab or whatever. So therefore, Marcus is also a fucking enemy of mine. And so after that happened, we could leave our tools on the fucking front porch, and these motherfuckers weren't stealing it. We were outside unloading the van one morning, and fucking who do we see? Fucking Joe Crackhead fucking walking down the street at us. Dude crossed the street and went to the other side of the street. He's like, how you doing, sir? Nice as fucking Betty Crocker. So I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. So another situation we had a house on 28th and Locust, also a very, very, very bad area in Milwaukee. And the house is on the corner. And we used to deal with this Jamaican real estate lady, Andrea Nemhart, I think it was. Anyway, she talked with a real heavy Jamaican accent. So she calls me, she goes, hey, Kurt, I got this real estate deal, blah, blah. Go and look at the house. I'm like, all right. She goes, you don't have to put any money down. We're just gonna, the lady that owns it, her grandkids are selling dope out of that house. She says she wants them gone, so she's willing to let us go in, rehab the whole property, and then sell it, and then we'll give her a portion. And she said, I already did all the paperwork, the title, all that, to make sure she didn't have liens or loans on the house. That's what she said. She said she had done all the work. And so I said, well, the very first thing we got to do is we got to get these fucking drug fucking mules out of there. Not mules, but, you know, chain snatchers, pretty much. They weren't fucking like Scarface. They thought they were. So we had this white dude, Junior, and, Will, and a black dude named Junior. Or the white dude was Junior and the black dude was Will. We'll just say Junior was white, Will was black. That's my guess from what I can remember. Well, they had a couple pits, and they lived next door to a house that we did on 13th and Chambers, also a fucking very bad area. It's got a playground right across the street from. We were working late one night, and a dude got killed right on the fucking playground. We come out, we didn't even hear it because we had the radio going, and there was cops fucking everywhere. I'm like, oh, what happened? This young kid got smoked, and which is sad. So anyways, that's how we met Junior and Will. They had a couple pits, white dude, black dude. So I give them, I'm like, hey man, I'll give you guys $100 each. I need you to roll over there with me and my brother Mikey. And I also had a dog, a rot named Tina. And so because I had already offered for the dudes to get out. I said, hey, listen, you know, I'll give you X amount of dollars. I forget, it wasn't a shit ton, like $1,000 or whatever to move, but that was their spot. They were making a lot of money, I guess. Why would they fucking, you know, be threatened by me? So I'm like, listen, you can either do it the easy way or the hard way, and I prefer this route. And they're like, fuck it, we prefer the hard route. I'm like, oh, all right. So I'm contemplating. So that's when I contact Will and Junior, and I give them, you know, tell them, hey, I'll give you guys each $100. And we got along with these dudes. I mean, we would fucking pay them to watch a house. They were cool dudes with us. Would they have fucking broke into our shit and stole? Absolutely. But, you know, you keep you keep them happy. You keep the fucking thugs, you know, pad their palm a little bit, and everything will be cool. So anyways, so we go early in the morning, like 6-ish, but we know these motherfuckers are going to be sleeping. So we pull up real quiet they didn't have a garage. They just had like a gravel parking area. So we pull up in my work van very quietly. We let the dogs out. We got the leashes on. And my plan, so it was me and my brother Mikey, Will, and Junior. And the plan was, we ain't even knocking. We're just going to, because I got rights to the house. And that, you know, how things work in the hood, I know how things work in the fucking hood because I worked there for years. So anyways, we walk up to the back door, kick that motherfucker in. We unleash the fucking dogs, and they go in that motherfucker. Man, dude. Them motherfuckers were out of there faster than fucking 911 in a fucking white neighborhood. These motherfuckers were gone. And that was that. I mean, the house is a fucking shithole. They had in the downstairs bathroom, they had the main stink pipe or the main drain for the house to go, you know, for the waste to go down into the sewer. And there was a big ass, probably like a 4 or 5 foot crack in it, like this fucking wide. And that shit was smelling. It was so fucking gross. Anyways, we went ahead, did the house. There was this black dude, the dude upstairs, his name was Eddie. Cool dude. And he would watch the house for us, obviously. But we still never left tools and shit in there. So the house is finished. On my birthday, August 27th in whatever year it was, late 90s. And Andrea calls me, the realtor. Oh my God, Kurt, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? And she said, you know, we're getting ready to put a sign out there, but the lady, I didn't do my due diligence. I don't know if she used that exact word. But she has a couple mortgages on the house. And she said, whatever we get for the house is just going to pay off the loan. Oh my God, I was fucking devastated on my birthday. Man, I fucking cried. Real estate is expensive, especially if you're, you know, using one house to pay for another house, you know, so on and so on. And I had already been into the house for about 28 grand with, you know, some labor and, you know, materials or whatever. Not my time. My time was the profit. So I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And she says, well, we'll set it up with her, and you can collect rents for however long it takes for the 28,000 plus your time. I'm like, collect the fucking rents for 28 grand plus my fucking 40% or whatever I was making at the time. That's a lot of money, man. That's like 60 grand, whatever the case is, and it's like, the fuck or not. Anyways, do 40%. I'm not the fucking genius here. I don't know the square root of this fucking truck or the square root of my fucking garage. But anyways, I told her, I said, that will take me years to fucking recoup that money. And eventually she's just gonna say, nope, you're not collecting anything. I don't have a fucking written agreement with this lady. Anyways, I ate it. I was fucking super pissed. But yeah, so that was the story, or the truth, about catching a fucking crackhead with a booby trap. Anyways, I got to get to work here, and the next one I'll do is probably based on real estate with Ernie Eubanks, the preacher with 9 kids that screwed me, and my ex-partner Caesar Lira was on America's Most Wanted. So anyways, I got to get to work here. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.